This is your need to know. This is your need to know.
Welcome back, everyone, to this deep dive. This time, we're going to be strapping on our cybernetic enhancements and taking a deep dive into the world of cyborgs.
Okay.
And believe me, we're going way beyond those typical sci-fi tropes.
Yeah.
Get ready to explore what's real right now,
Right.
what's coming up on the horizon, and what it all means for us humans.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a ton of fascinating sources for this one,
Oh, yeah. Cool.
on everything from cyborgs and cyberware to cybernetics,
Wow.
intelligence amplification, even wetware.
I mean, it's a field that really captures the imagination.
It does.
But what I think is most interesting is that it's not just some futuristic fantasy anymore.
Right.
It's already a part of our lives.
Yeah.
Maybe even in ways we don't realize.
Exactly. So our mission today is to help you kind of navigate this pretty complex landscape, I guess.
That's right.
We'll uncover the key concepts, the surprising history,
Mm-hmm.
and all the questions this field raises.
And I think you'll be surprised by how much of this technology is already here,
Yeah.
shaping our present and, influencing where we're headed.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's break this down.
Okay.
What exactly makes a cyborg? Is it someone with like a robotic arm, or is there more to it?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's more relevant now than ever before.
I think so.
That classic definition from Kleins and Klein way back in 1960
Okay.
describes a cyborg as a being with both organic and biomechatronic parts.
Biomechatronic.
Yeah,
That sounds like it's straight out of science fiction.
it does sound futuristic,
Yeah.
but really all it means is the integration of mechanical and electronic systems with biological ones.
I see.
And the key here is
Yeah.
that it's all about enhancing or restoring function through technology that uses feedback mechanisms. So it's not just about like having a robotic arm.
Okay.
It's about that arm working seamlessly with your nervous system,
Right.
responding to your thoughts, your intentions.
So does that mean things like pacemakers and cochlear implants?
Yeah.
Those could technically be considered cyborg tech.
Exactly. They're great examples of technologies that are already interfacing with the human body to, restore or enhance function.
And that makes you wonder,
Yeah.
where do we draw the line? Could things like smartphones or even contact lenses, are those extensions of ourselves?
Right.
Are we blurring the lines between human and cyborg already?
Interesting.
So the concept of the cyborg is way more common than we might think.
I think so.
But how far back does this idea actually go?
Well, get ready to be surprised, because the concept of a man-machine hybrid predates modern technology by centuries.
Really?
We can trace it back to literature even before World War II.
Wow.
Think about Edgar Allan Poe's short story, The Man That Was Used Up from 1843.
Oh, yeah. The one with the war veteran who uses prosthetics.
That's the one.
It's amazing how those early works of fiction, they
Yeah.
kind of predicted the stuff we're seeing today.
It really is.
And it wasn't just Poe.
No.
Early science fiction was full of these ideas.
Right.
The Nyctalope,
Mm-hmm.
a hero with augmented abilities from early 20th century French literature,
Mm-hmm.
and then Captain Future, who was in pulp magazines in the late 1930s.
Mm.
Both of them kind of embodied this concept of a human enhanced by technology.
I see what you mean.
So those seeds were planted in fiction a long time ago.
Right.
But when did the cyborg move from science fiction to, science?
That's where Kleins and Klein's 1960 paper comes in.
Okay.
Their work went beyond just thinking about it. That
Okay.
they were actually tackling the practical challenges of space exploration.
Really?
They saw the cyborg as a solution, a way to help humans adapt to the harsh environment of space.
So they were thinking about, like, enhancing humans
Yeah.
to withstand radiation, extreme temperatures, all the challenges of space.
Exactly. It was really a visionary concept that sparked actual research into cybernetics
Yeah.
and human-machine integration.
And that research led to some incredible milestones, like Johnny Ray,
Yes.
the first human cyborg with a brain implant back in 1997.
That's right.
He had locked-in syndrome after a stroke, but the implant allowed him to regain some control over his body.
It was amazing.
That must have been a huge breakthrough.
Oh, absolutely. A pivotal moment in the history of cyborg technology.
And then there's Kevin Warwick,
Oh, yeah.
a scientist who took things even further
Yeah.
in the early 2000s.
He was a pioneer.
Captain Cyborg himself.
That's him.
He implanted electrodes into his own nervous system and connected them to the internet, right?
Exactly. He used that setup to control a robotic hand
Wow.
all the way across the Atlantic, getting feedback from its fingertips,
Really?
essentially extending his nervous system through technology.
It makes you think about the potential
I know, right?
not only to restore function, but to change what it means to be human.
Absolutely.
It feels like we're on the edge of a whole new era, where the line between human and machine is getting blurry.
Yeah.
But before we go too deep into the philosophical stuff,
Okay.
I want to know what kind of cyberware is out there now.
Right.
What's being developed?
Well, we can think about cyberware in two main categories: interfaces and prosthetics.
Okay.
Interfaces, sometimes called headwear,
Gotcha.
focus on connecting directly to the brain, while prosthetics or bodywear concentrate on enhancing or replacing limbs.
So when we talk about interfaces, are we talking about something like that data jack from sci-fi?
Yeah,
Direct communication between the brain and computers.
That's the ultimate goal, a seamless flow of information between our minds and digital networks.
Right.
While the data jack is still futuristic, we're seeing incredible progress with hands-free control using brain signals,
Oh, wow.
like the brain gate system.
I've heard of that.
It allows people with severe paralysis to control computers
Right.
and other devices with their thoughts.
That's incredible, especially for people with disabilities.
For sure.
It's not just about restoring what's lost.
No.
It's about new ways of interacting with the world.
Yeah, totally.
Like filmmaker Rob Spence, who replaced his eye with a camera,
Yeah, I remember that.
not to see again, but to create this unique way of seeing and recording.
That's a great example of how cyberware can go beyond simply mimicking or restoring biological function.
It can.
It can open up entirely new possibilities, pushing the boundaries of human perception and experience.
But it's not just humans who are becoming cyborgs.
Oh, right.
There's a whole other dimension to this field. Animal cyborgs.
Fascinating stuff.
Yes, I've been reading about some really fascinating, maybe slightly unsettling developments there.
Oh, yeah.
What's happening in the world of animal cyborgs?
Well, one that might surprise you is the Roboroach.
Broderos.
It's a DIY kit that lets you control a live cockroach using your
A
smartphone.
cyborg cockroach controlled by a smartphone.
Yeah.
I got to see that.
It's pretty wild.
But seriously, what are the implications of something like that?
Well, they market it as an educational tool, but it does make you think about animal welfare.
Yeah.
How far should we go in manipulating living creatures? It's a debate that's only going to get bigger as tech advances.
Yeah.
And we're already seeing cyborg insects being used by the military
Really?
for surveillance and hazard detection.
Cyborg insects for the military. Sounds like something out of a movie.
It's closer to reality than you might think.
Wow.
And it's not just insects.
Wow.
Researchers have even created cyborg jellyfish.
Cyborg jellyfish. What will they think of next?
I know, right?
It's fascinating, but it makes you think about the ethical boundaries
For sure.
as we go further into this, uncharted territory.
Absolutely. As these technologies keep advancing,
Yeah.
we really need to talk about the potential consequences, both the good and the bad.
Okay, so we've got cyborg humans, cyborg insects, cyborg jellyfish.
A whole new world.
Where do we go from here? What's next?
That's the question, isn't it? Our sources offer a glimpse into the future.
Okay.
We'll be exploring space exploration, military applications, medical breakthroughs, even cognitive enhancement.
Wow, that's incredible, but
Yeah.
also a lot of challenges.
Definitely.
I'm really interested to hear more about that.
This is what you need to know. This is what you need to know. This is what you need to know.
Let's dive into the future of cyborgs together then.
Let's do it.
Okay. So as we kind of step into this future of cyborg technologies, it's really important to remember that we're not just talking about cool gadgets or futuristic enhancements.
Yeah.
We're talking about changes that could literally reshape humanity itself.
That's right. It's not just about the tech, it's about the implications, the ethical stuff,
Exactly.
the potential for both incredible progress and,
Yeah.
unforeseen consequences.
That's where the field of cybernetics comes in.
Okay.
It gives us a way to understand these complex systems,
Right.
to navigate this ethical minefield of human-machine integration.
I see.
Cybernetics is about understanding feedback loops, circular processes, the interplay between humans and machines.
So thinking systemically, looking at the big picture,
Exactly.
and anticipating the ripple effects of these technologies.
Yeah. We can't just focus on the potential benefits, say, of a brain-computer interface.
Right.
Without also considering the potential risks.
Like what?
To privacy, autonomy, even our sense of self.
It's like we're stepping into this unknown territory and we need a map, right?
That's a good way to put it.
And cybernetics seems to offer that guidance.
It does.
But how do we actually apply it?
Okay, well, one area where cybernetics is crucial is biomechatronics.
Biomechatronics.
This field focuses on designing technologies that work seamlessly with biological systems.
So prosthetic limbs that respond to neural signals,
Exactly.
artificial organs that mimic natural functions,
Right.
tech that works with the body, not just replacing or overriding its functions.
That's the idea.
It sounds like this delicate dance between biology and technology.
It is.
But even with the best intentions,
Yeah.
what about misuse? Could we end up in some dystopian future where governments or corporations are controlling us through implants?
It's a valid concern, one that science fiction has explored a lot.
It has.
But we have to remember that tech itself is neutral. It's how we use it, the values we embed in it, that determine its impact.
So the responsibility lies with us to ensure that these technologies are used ethically.
Absolutely. We need open conversations
Right.
about the risks and benefits, clear ethical guidelines, a commitment to using these technologies in a way that respects human rights and dignity.
It all comes back to our choices, our values, the future we want to create.
I think so.
And speaking of choices, one area where things get really tricky is consent. What happens when we start talking about cognitive enhancements or genetic modifications?
Yeah.
Who gets to decide what's acceptable?
It's a crucial question.
It is.
One that raises issues of social justice and equity.
Exactly.
If you're not careful, these technologies could make existing inequalities worse and create a whole new set of ethical problems.
Like what?
Imagine a scenario where only the wealthy can afford to enhance their intelligence
Wow.
or physical abilities,
Yeah.
leaving everyone else at a disadvantage.
That's a pretty unsettling thought.
It is.
We need to make sure these technologies are used to help everyone,
I agree.
not just create a bigger gap between the haves and have-nots.
Absolutely.
But let's talk about the potential benefits.
Okay.
We've talked about some of the medical applications, but the possibilities are pretty much endless.
They are.
Imagine a world where disabilities are a thing of the past,
Wow.
with advanced prosthetics,
Yeah.
diseases eradicated through gene editing.
It's incredible.
We could even boost our cognitive abilities to solve global problems.
It's an inspiring vision.
It is.
The potential for human enhancement is huge
Yeah.
and could lead to amazing advancements in medicine, education, the arts, pretty much everything.
Exactly. Imagine a world where we all live healthier,
Yeah.
longer, more fulfilling lives.
I like it.
But even with the best intentions,
Right.
we need to be careful.
I agree. The path to progress isn't always straightforward.
No.
We need to be ready to adapt, to change course, to learn from our mistakes as we go.
It seems like the key is to keep talking, to think critically, to question assumptions, and consider different points of view.
Absolutely. We can't just buy into the hype
Right.
or give in to fear.
No.
We need thoughtful discussions
Yeah.
to really consider the risks and benefits,
Right.
and a shared commitment to shaping a future that works for all of humanity.
I think that's a great way to put it.
Thanks.
It's about finding that balance between cautious optimism and responsible innovation.
For sure.
Okay, we've covered a lot.
We
The
have.
history of cyborgs, different types of cyberware, the principles of cybernetics, and
Yeah.
the ethical dilemmas.
It's a lot.
Now, I want to talk about something that bridges the tech
Yeah.
and the philosophical,
Oh,
the idea of the post-human.
yes. The post-human. term that gets people excited.
It does.
And scared.
It's not always easy to define, though.
That's true.
It feels kind of, I don't know, slippery.
Yeah.
Like science fiction becoming reality.
Yeah, I get it.
So help me out here. What does it actually mean to be post-human?
Okay, so
Is it just a fancy way of saying cyborg, or is there more to it?
it goes beyond just having a robotic arm or a brain implant.
Okay.
Cyborg usually means a being with both organic and biomechatronic parts.
Right.
But post-human is broader.
Okay.
It's about humans transcending our current biological limitations, not just through technology, but through culture, society, even philosophy.
So expanding our understanding of what it means to be human.
Exactly.
Pushing the boundaries of our abilities.
That's it.
Are we talking about merging with AI, uploading our minds?
Those ideas definitely fall under post-humanism.
Wow.
It's about questioning our assumptions about human identity,
Hmm.
exploring possibilities that might seem radical or even scary.
It's a lot to process.
It is.
But how does this post-human connect to cyborgs?
Good question.
Are they separate ideas or two sides of the same coin?
They're connected, but not the same.
I see.
Think of the cyborg as a stepping stone to a post-human future.
Okay.
It's a real example of our growing integration with technology,
Right.
a way of testing the waters.
So the cyborg is like a prototype for the post-human.
In a way, yes.
As we get used to enhancing our bodies,
Yeah,
we might be open to even more radical changes.
possibly.
Changes that blur the lines between human and machine,
Hmm.
or even make us question the nature of consciousness itself.
Exactly. Post-humanism asks us to embrace the unknown,
Wow.
to shed our old ideas and imagine a future that could be totally different from anything we've ever known.
This is definitely some mind-blowing stuff.
It is.
It seems like the future of humanity might be a lot stranger and more complex than we ever thought.
It might be, and that's what makes it so fascinating.
Yeah,
The future isn't set in stone.
sure.
It's something we create through our choices.
Hmm.
Our innovations, our willingness to have these conversations about what it means to be human in a world of technology.
Well said. It's a future we're building together.
Yeah, that's right.
One step, one decision, one innovation at a time.
I like that.
We've covered so much in this deep dive.
I know, right?
The world of cyborgs, the ethical stuff,
Yeah.
the potential benefits and risks,
Mm-hmm.
even the idea of post-humanism.
It's been a journey.
Before we wrap up, there's one more thing I want to talk about.
Oh, okay.
A concept that really shows how the lines between biology and tech are blurring.
I'm listening. Well, it's the idea of wetware. You know, when we talk about computers,
Yeah.
we have hardware and software.
Right.
But have you ever thought about what the equivalent would be for biological systems? Especially for us humans.
That's interesting. Are you saying our brains are like organic computers?
It's a simplification.
Okay.
But essentially, yeah.
Wow.
Wetware refers to the biological parts of intelligence,
Mhm.
mainly the brain and nervous system. It's the physical stuff our thoughts, emotions, memories are made of.
So if our brains are the hardware,
Yeah.
what's the software?
Good question. It would be our thoughts, experiences, those patterns of neural activity that shape consciousness.
I see.
And just like we upgrade computer hardware and
Yeah.
develop new software,
Right.
some people think we might be able to enhance or even change our own wetware someday.
Really?
Imagine the possibilities. Enhancing cognitive abilities, expanding consciousness,
Wow.
maybe even achieving digital immortality
Digital immortality.
by transferring our consciousness to something non-biological.
That's pretty mind-boggling.
It is.
It raises so many philosophical and ethical questions.
It does.
But it makes you think about the future.
Yeah.
If we start merging our brains with tech,
Right.
what happens to humanity?
That's the big question. It's a question that really challenges our understanding of what it means to be human.
Yeah.
It forces us to confront some really profound ethical and philosophical issues.
This whole deep dive has been incredible.
I know.
We've gone from the definition of a cyborg to the complexities of cybernetics, human enhancement, post-humanism,
Yeah.
and now this mind-blowing wetware concept.
It's a lot to take in.
It really is.
Yeah.
It seems like the future is going to be a lot stranger
It might be.
and more complex than we ever imagined.
But also exciting.
Yeah,
The future isn't set in stone, remember? We're shaping it
right.
through our choices, innovations, and by having these conversations about what it means to be human.
Absolutely. We've only just scratched the surface here.
We have.
There's so much more to explore.
There is.
So many more questions to ask.
I encourage everyone listening to dig deeper into these topics.
Yeah.
Look at the sources we've provided and keep asking those tough questions.
Great advice.
The future of humanity and technology is a story that's still being written, and we all have a part in writing it.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So, to all our listeners out there, keep those cyborg brains firing, stay curious, and keep exploring.
The future awaits.
We'll be back soon with another deep dive into this amazing world where tech and humanity collide.
Sounds good.
Until then, thanks for joining us.
is your
See you next time.
Need to know.